First to this breaking news item, which is one of the top Venezuelan gang members has been captured due to the Trump administration's new plans.
That's right. And this is what they are calling a ringleader of the Tren de Aragua gang. This is that Venezuelan gang you heard a lot about on the campaign trail. This is the same gang that was terrorizing communities in Colorado, taking over apartment complexes. So it's gotten a lot of attention as these members of these gangs have exploited the migrant flows at the southern border to infiltrate deeper within the United States. We know that they are in major cities across the United States and some not as major cities as you look at some of the patterns of how they take hold. But this individual was arrested in New York City. It's 26-year-old Pacheco, and he was arrested early Tuesday morning by ICE and the DEA in the Bronx. He is wanted in Colorado, in Aurora, Colorado, on felony warrants that stem from some of those images you saw where he and other gang members were trying to break into different apartments. There's some kidnapping charges, I believe, that are alleged as well. It was actually seen on footage that was shown widely during the campaign. During
that Ring doorbell kind of style footage.
Exactly. At an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. This is when the big story came out that this gang was taking over apartment complexes. And the liberal media tried to push back and say, oh, it's not really happening. There was that famous exchange with J.D. Vance on one of the Sunday shows of the host asking him, well, really, we're seeing it's only one or two. And he's like, do you hear yourself? You're saying it's okay that one or two apartment complexes in the middle of the country are taken over by a violent Venezuelan gang that is exploiting the porous southern border to get here and take a foothold. Now we know that this individual was caught in the Bronx. They caught this individual trying to carry out a weapons exchange, an illegal one. There's reports that he was trying to obtain hand grenades, which is not something I think you're wanting to do anything positive with.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a legal version of that.
Sure, exactly. Especially if you're in New York City, they have very tight restrictions on what kind of arms you can carry. Yeah. I don't think it's an open grenade carry state. But all that to say, I think that you are now seeing the fruit of what was campaigned upon by this administration, getting people in place. We have a DHS secretary now confirmed. She can get her deputies confirmed as well. And you're seeing they are already hitting the ground running, allowing the agencies to do the work that they were clamoring for. And remember, it was the Border Patrol Agents Union supported President Trump. The individuals that work these jobs actually want to do the work of their job. And we see that they were doing as much as they were allowed because they know exactly where to go get many of these most heinous actors that are available in the country, that have been able to roam freely, move from Colorado to New York, where you're wanted on federal crimes in Colorado, able to get all the way to the Bronx. That just shows that the administration prior was not allowing these individuals to do their job and take these people into custody and ultimately get them out of our country.
Let's go ahead and take a phone call. Robert's calling in Maryland on line 1. Robert, you're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you could repeat the name of the Venezuelan gang leader that was taken into custody and apprehended by ICE in the Bronx, New York, who was wanted on felony federal charges in Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah, I want to tell you, it's Anderson Zambrano Pacheco, who's 26 years old, again, arrested in New York City. So if you want to know names and find out information about the gang that they were involved in, you can find that. There's plenty of it online.
Once again, President Trump is ending catch and release. Asylum is been abused under the Biden administration. There's a legal process that we believe should happen. There are legitimate asylum cases where people are fleeing political persecution, religious persecution. But the way it's been expanded and used as a cover for allowing illegal immigration under the Biden administration is not okay. That is not the use or the tool of asylum seekers. And therefore, it is actually hurting those that deserve true asylum in the United States and going through that process. But also, Carolyn Levitt, she brought up yesterday at the briefing something very similar to Brian's comment, and I think we should play it for everyone. It was refreshing to have her at the podium yesterday.
For you people who don't know, this is your new press secretary. This is the first time that she had gone up there, and she revealed a lot of interesting information.
The 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office. Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
You may have one of the worst first. They all have a criminal record.
And welcome to the briefing.
If they broke our nation's laws, yes, they are criminal.
Yeah, I mean, so there you go. If they broke our nation's law, they're criminal. That is the stance of the Trump administration. And look, here at the ACLJ, we've been calling for immigration reform for years and years and years. Because look, we are a country of immigrants. I'm a family of immigrants. We believe in the correct and legal way. And we believe in a different way because we think it is a mess. And it has always been a mess. The problem you had is no one took action. And then you had a Biden administration that let things get to the point where we have to have this point, where they have to be going and finding the criminals and deporting and doing the things that, yes, sometimes do not feel like the Christian compassionate thing to do. But if you break the law in this country, it's gotten out of hand, unfortunately. Calling for years and years of immigration reform. Republicans have done it, and no one's listened from the left, it seems like, at all. And now it's out of control, and you have to have these very sometimes sad moments where you have to take care of this, because then you find that there are criminals who are doing some very bad things within our own country, and we're pretty quickly and easily able to locate. I think that's part of the crazy moment of this, is how quickly all of this could be taken care of if you let the people who have these jobs do their jobs. Let's go to Bill in Wyoming, who's watching on aclj.org, which you should. Bill, you're on the air.
I want to know your opinion of what the mainstream media's stance is going to be now that President Trump informed the nation about what's going on in Colorado.
Bill, I think they are going to ignore the majority of it. I think you'll see articles pop up, but I think you'll see more of the negative spin, the spin that people like Dimitro are hearing about. You're not going to hear a lot of these stories covered. Now, for the next week, they're probably going to be covering a lot of confirmation hearings and that, but I think unless they catch someone who is, did you have to make it front page story, if you will, or the number one story, they're going to pretend it's not happening.
I mean, the New York Times already showed their hand on this when after the executive order on labeling the cartels as terrorist organizations, they wrote a headline, "How Labeling Cartels Terrorists Could Hurt the U.S. Economy." I assume what's probably coming here is that ICE rounds up migrant who was just seeking affordable housing by taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. I mean, that's only the next logical step, Logan. I don't know what else they would decide to all of a sudden change their tune, but that's probably the fact. They're going to spin this as somehow that the gang leader is a victim.